So we just got back from seeing Wonka, the newest iteration of this very classic Roald Dahl book, and we're gonna have our full thoughts on it in just a second.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
OP boy. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my seat, boy. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another iPopcorn for that review. I'm Chris,
I'm Nick.
and we are here to talk about Wonka. So I'm sure we've both seen the original the original 1971 movie and the whatever it was 2004 Tim Burton. You've seen both of those, right?
Yeah, I definitely don't remember as much of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the Tim Burton one, as I do Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But I've seen them both.
Same, yeah. I've seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory a bunch of
Yeah.
times, and I love that movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, especially considering how rarely I like a musical, and I would call that to some degree a musical, and I like that a lot. That's one of my favorites.
Mm.
I don't like the Tim Burton remake, so I've only watched it probably the one time, honestly, maybe twice in passing, but
Right.
yeah, I didn't like it right off the bat. So I went into this with trepidation for sure. The trailers did not grab me. In fact, I mean, it made me want to watch it less, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think we were both on the same page with that. So the only thing that was giving me some hope is, even though I haven't seen the Paddington movies, especially Paddington 2, are so highly acclaimed and loved by everybody, it seems, that gave me some hope about this, and maybe the trailer just was not cut well or whatever.
Let's all go to the.
And this is very much a musical. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
way more so than the original 1971 movie.
Way more than I was expecting it to be. Like, I knew it was gonna have some numbers, but this had
Mhm.
I don't know what, like 6, 7, 8
A l-
songs.
A lot. And by the way, before we get into it, I just want to say I didn't realize that the guy who did the Paddington movies and this is the Mighty Boosh guy. But that's the Mighty Boosh guy. Like, this is the guy who wrote and directed every episode of the Mighty Boosh, Paul King. So it's not, I guess, knowing that, it's not that surprising that we get a Mighty Boosh cast member in this movie. I can't think of the guy's name. We'd have to look it up, I
Yeah,
guess.
the American guy. I can't think of
Like
his
the one
name
American
either.
guy.
Yeah.
But so let me just start there. What do you think about the musical aspect of this? Because I know neither of us are huge fans of musicals, and it's a rare exception for us to like one. What do you think about the music in this?
The soundtrack for the music was good. Didn't really care for the songs themselves, like the lyrics, but the
Yeah,
music was good. Like, except for, of course, one at the very end was really good.
right. Which is a throwback, like it's a direct recall of the original movie.
Yeah.
That is the best. I think that's one of the best songs for a musical ever written, and I think obviously that was going to stand out against the pack. And I don't think they probably weren't even really trying to top that. But
Yeah.
as much as like the production of the music and the actual singing was good, and maybe sometimes better than I thought. Like, Timothée Chalamet can sing pretty well.
Yeah.
Nothing. He's not going to win a Grammy or something, but sings pretty well. But the actual content of the music was pretty, like, uninteresting to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine, it's passable, but it's not. There was nothing memorable there. I left humming the song that everybody thinks of first when they think of the original movie.
Exactly.
I'm not going to be humming any of the other songs in this.
And I couldn't I couldn't tell you what they are at this point anymore. I've already forgotten them because they had no chorus in any of them. It's just like one song straight through. The one in
Very
the
repetitive.
Yeah,
Oh,
very.
what's that?
The one decent one, I can't remember the name of it. But like when he, I guess, spoiler, opens his little chocolate shop and he's like singing to the people. That one wasn't bad, but all the other ones, like,
Right.
the content wasn't super great. Music
So
was fantastic for all of them, though.
the music is super well done here, and the choreography and the set design and the costume design and all that is really good, which didn't surprise me, because the trailer didn't make me think this was going to be a bad looking movie. But yeah, I'm trying to find where I'm at with this as far as the story and the actual content of the movie itself. I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. It's, in a way, it's better than I thought it would be based on the trailer,
Right.
but I felt inconsistent about it throughout. So I don't love the whole movie on the same level. Like, there's parts of it that were real standouts, and I got a lot out of it, and I was like, found myself forgetting that this is a movie I wasn't anticipating much out of and everything. And I'm like, this is, in the moment, this is good.
Yeah, I feel the
Uh,
same way. Like the set design was great, the costume design, like you said, it felt real like cozy and nice, like you're in this little Bavarian village, and it's not Bavaria, but wherever they are, I don't know.
they don't even say, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's very whimsical. It's
hmm
very cute, and it feels like maybe that is just a case of me watching a movie that's pretty well done and doing what it set out to do well, and I'm just not very much the audience for it. Like, but I think it aims a little younger. In my mind, it aims a little younger, maybe than even the original movie. I don't know, because the original movie had some darkness to it. This doesn't have a single dark
well,
spot. I mean, there's things that are, well, I guess that's not true, but Wonka's character is very through and through from the opening scene to the end, ever the optimist, ever the
right.
very happy-go-lucky guy, and there's not. I'm not really picking on it for this, but there's just not much of a character arc there. But I don't think it would have done this movie any favors to really bring in the dark aspects of Wonka in this early Wonka origin movie.
Yeah, that's where he's still
It,
getting his foothold and like he has a passion for it, and where in the 1971 version he's kind of lost his passion for it, right?
yeah, you can kind of fill in the blanks for yourself and think like, what would make this person jaded? Well, time and a lot more life behind him, and more disappointments and stuff like that. So you can kind of fill in the blank. And like I said, I think this would like change the tone of the movie if you did something about him being mean or rude to a kid or something like
Right.
that. It just
Yeah.
would have thrown everything off. But yeah, I don't know. It's really I don't want to speak for you, but it's not a bad movie.
It's
It's
not.
just
Yeah. It was just
it's
kind of
just
okay, and then, like I said, we're not fans of musicals, so that's probably a
mhm.
big factor in it as well. Until like I don't know. It's just a weird juxtaposition between two different Willy Wonkas too, because he's just so happy-go-lucky guy, and I feel like I mean, he is in the 1971 version as well, but like I feel like his emotions are kind of repressed a little bit, not as much as
Mhm.
the Timothée
and
Chalamet's.
and I think problems do get resolved to some extent with some ease in this
Yeah.
movie, but it is like, I think that's just another point toward it being aimed toward a younger audience.
Right.
Because I could see young kids really having a good time with this, because the fantasy elements and like the whimsy of all of it is really good, and I think it peaks at the end
hmm
without giving away anything. But like the end was probably my favorite scene.
Yeah,
But
I
I
think
also
so.
think, but I also want to get into a particular topic here, which is, what do you think about Hugh Grant as a freaking Oompa Loompa?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great, but I think I think he acted it very well, but like the
Sure.
CGI wasn't great. And there's side note as well. I don't know if you noticed this, but like in one of the first scenes where Willy Wonka comes to town, he's gonna sleep on a bench and a dog runs up to him. For how much of the movie is this dog just CGI for no reason? Did
A
you notice
lot.
that? Like there was a
Yeah, a
real
lot
dog
of
at a
it.
couple of points, but that they could have just used a real dog and trained him in that. I don't
I'm
understand why
I'm
they used a
noticing
CGI.
I'm noticing that a lot in a lot of movies anymore, where dogs won't be real, and I wonder if it's something where that there was like a movie a couple of years back that had like, there was a lot of controversy about dogs getting injured or maybe even killed
Hmm.
during a production, and so they've like, I think there's been a big shift in Hollywood to get away from using real animals anywhere there's any chance of an animal getting hurt at all. So maybe it's just a byproduct of that, but it looks weird to me seeing
Yeah.
that. But the most jarring thing by far for me was the Oompa Loompa. And again, not I like Hugh Grant. I think he's done good stuff. I think he's having like a great like late career
Right. Little
shift. Like
resurgence a little bit.
I thought he was great on Dungeons and Dragons, but it's nothing against his performance here. But I actually think the writing was a little weak for him, and also just the comedy of that didn't really work for me, and the look, like I couldn't stand the look of him, because it looks like even his face is like just a CGI mock-up of
I
Hugh
think it
Grant's
was.
face. Like, it doesn't look at, it's
It
not
was
like
definitely
his
digital.
head on a, yeah, it's not like his head on a fake body. It's like everything about this is CGI from the beginning. And again, CGI is not always bad, but this was just that one part was so hard to look at for me. I was like ready for him to be off the screen anytime he was
Right.
on the screen.
I definitely thought he was gonna have a bigger part in the movie than he did too. But
Yeah, he does not play a huge role. It's
he's
kind of
only
like
in
just
like
the
3 or 4
origin.
scenes. Yeah.
It's just like you find out what the origins of the Oompa Loompas are, which I don't remember what they were in the book, but I bet it ain't. I bet it's not very PC. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? I think
Yeah.
they were kind of not a lot of consent going on with the Oompa Loompas. So I don't know. It's a mixed bag. There's more to like here than I expected there to be, I think. And I can see somebody having a really good time with this from start to finish.
Right.
I'm not surprised that people are liking this. Uh, maybe that's as good as it could be for me because
Yeah.
I did just go into this not expecting much. So like I thought Timothy Chalamet did a better job than I was anticipating, and I like him in serious roles and dramatic roles and stuff
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
But this felt like a weird casting choice to me.
I thought
I
the
think
same thing.
everybody was jarred by that casting choice, right? I mean, we all had to get used to that a little bit, and there was a huge like grassroots movement to get Jeremy Allen White to play Wonka because he looks like Gene
I
Wilder. But I don't
just
think that would have worked
I think
better.
he looks a little bit older and he's like jacked, so
Yeah, especially yeah, while he's preparing for the Iron
Iron
Claw,
Claw,
he's
yeah.
also like doubling up and doing Wonka too. That'd be the wrong choice. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else to really, like I said, visually very cool.
Yeah, like the story wasn't bad, wasn't great.
Olivia Colman was good
Yeah.
on this. Like she's a good like villain, and the other it took a little minute or two for him to grow on me, but I thought he like as a comic relief villain character, the guy that like
Right.
Bleacher or whatever,
Bleacher, yeah. Yeah, all the names of the
he ended up
people.
being good too.
Yeah, his voice is insane. It reminded me of Men in Black 3 for Jermaine Clement's character from that movie. It's
Yes,
just such a
same.
deep voice. It doesn't sound real.
Yeah, yeah, and like yeah, like you were saying, the names are pretty like It's like Abacus Crunch
Yeah,
or
he's the
something like that.
accountant, and like
Yeah,
Piper Benz is a plumber. Like they have all these funny names for whatever their careers were.
it's got some fun. There's some fun to this,
Yeah.
and I think and I think I could see like especially a younger crowd laughing more often. But there's some comedy that lands. It seems like a little self-referential, and like there's some jokes that are I don't know. I can't remember exact ones, but like some kind of jokes about the movie in a way,
Right.
but not too like fourth wall
And there were some cool
breaky or
things
whatever.
that were also like throwbacks to the 1971 movie, like when they open the chocolate shop, he drinks from a flower and takes a bite out of it.
Hmm.
Things like that were really cool. And there's
Yeah,
always like
there's
the it's like the ting, it's like bells playing "Come with Me." I don't know, don't know the name of the actual song, but the most famous song from the movie,
I think it's
"World
called
of
Pure
Pure
Imagination.
Imagination," like
I
playing
think
throughout
so.
the movie, and you're just waiting like, are they gonna do it or are they not gonna do it? And then they do, and it's pretty good.
You walk out of the theater on a high note because
Yeah,
this movie ends so nicely, and you're like, and it's like the best scene of the movie at the end, and you're just like, oh yeah, that they nailed the ending for sure.
yeah,
And that's something I can say. I've had movies this year that I've watched that I liked the movie more, but they didn't quite stick the landing, and so I end up being like, yeah, it was really good. I wish it wrapped up. Well, this one, it's like, yeah, it was pretty good, but then it wrapped up super good.
hmm,
So by the end of it, you almost, I mean, I could see somebody being like, okay, when's Wonka 2 coming out, you know? But yeah, so what does that translate to as a, unless you have anything else you want to add, what does that translate to as a number score?
oh, man, I'll probably give it like a 5.5. Just kind of, I don't really care to watch it again, but it wasn't bad. I didn't hate it while I was watching it. I wasn't super entertained, but it was okay.
The thing is, I was thinking about it too, like because this is a hard one to score to me because I think it nailed what it was going for the audience it was going for. But my personal taste score, it is probably like a 6,
Yeah.
which is better than I thought, better than the average, but not a whole lot better than average. But I was thinking I could see myself like if somebody wanted to watch this, I could see myself rewatching this and having a pretty good. I wasn't ever miserable or bored. I wasn't like just really finding it a chore to get through. I felt like it could have been shorter
Yeah.
for sure. Like for the to me, the age range you're aiming for, you need 90 minutes. But whatever, nobody does that anymore. Everything's longer than that now, I guess. But yeah, I think I recommend this to a lot of people, especially a lot of families
Hmm.
and younger audiences and stuff. Certainly, there's a lot worse you could do going out to see a family movie. But yeah, for me, about a 6. So I guess that's about it for us. The next movie we're going to see in theaters, thankfully, is Poor Things. It was looking like that was not going to be available for either of us to see. We're going to get to see Poor Things. Really looking forward to that a lot. Like probably one of my most anticipated movies of the year. So stay tuned for that and hit like below if you liked what you saw, and share it with some friends. Hit subscribe, help us get to 500. We're moving along in that direction. We got almost 200 right now.
Yeah.
So help us to get to 500. Stick around for the next one. And thanks for watching as always. We'll
Yeah,
see you.
thanks. We'll see you.
I don't know. What do you think about the whole thing with how they get out of the situation at the end with the chocolate, about to drown to death in chocolate?
I mean, it makes sense the way they explained it with Hugh Grant being like, if you steal an Oompa Loompas chocolate, we take it back 1,000-fold or whatever. So now he's gonna take
Yeah.
all the chocolate from these fuckers. But he didn't even take it, did he? Like he just saved them.
No,
Yeah.
I couldn't help but be thinking about like the sanitary aspect of them all just drinking like mugs of the chocolate from the fountain that's gone through all these pipes and had people in it, and like
Yeah.
all the different levels of grossness of that, and everybody's like, "This is good."
Yeah, I thought that was pretty disgusting. That was funny though. I thought it was really funny how Keegan Michael Key just got progressively fatter through the movie.
Hmm.
That was funny.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Keegan Michael Key. He was pretty good comedic relief here. I
Hmm.
like that guy. I like that guy a lot.
Yeah,
So,
a lot of the comedy
and
didn't hit, but he was pretty good.
the the three villains are very much like cartoon mustache twirling
Yes.
villains, and I think it works. Like it's self, it like knows what it is
Well,
enough
it's
that
like
it
a
makes it.
play musical. Like everybody in it was a little over the top.
It is very over the top, but it's
Yeah.
like nobody would be confused and think that was accidental. Like it's very much, it knows it's over the top, and that's what it's going for. But yeah, and all three of the villains did a pretty good job. But
Mm.
I can't think of the guy's name. I can never think of the guy's name because it sounds like his name's backwards. He has like a last name for a first name, but the
Matt
guy.
Lucas.
The villain.
Slugworth.
Yeah, I was gonna say the villain who I remember the name from the original movie, Slugworth. Uh, his character's been on a handful of things, probably like the Mighty Boosh or something like that, and I think a couple episodes of Doctor Who, and
Oh, okay.
there was something else, The Leftovers, the show, the TV show on HBO, The
Oh, right,
Leftovers.
right. Yeah.
But I think he was like the standout villain for me. The
Well,
other
he was
guy
like
that's
the
like,
main villain.
yeah, the other guy that's like the bald headed guy that wears the toupee.
Matt Lucas. Yeah.
I thought I don't know, his shtick was like like a step, one step too far into like overly campy or something. It didn't really work for me most of the time.
Yeah. Well, the magic part of it was really cool too. How he's wanted to be a magician, like he just pulls all this shit out of his hat. And I was thinking
Hmm.
too, like, he's making all this candy that has all these crazy effects. But in the 1971, did he have those already, or were they like? Because it seemed like everybody was all about Wonka bars, not these crazy candies that make you float and stuff.
Yeah, I think there probably is a continuity error there. Yeah,
Yeah,
because he was like unveiling,
the everlasting
like
gobstopper.
in Willy Wonka and the Child, it feels like he was unveiling all of his real crazy experiments that he's been doing for the first time. Like nobody's ever seen any of the stuff that I'm showing you now, like the three
Yeah,
course meal and all that. But they couldn't make this movie about just a guy selling regular chocolate with nothing special about it. But
yeah.
oh, and I thought the thing with his mother, they could have done a little more with maybe, but it was okay. I don't know that I needed a whole lot more of it, but the stuff with his
Mhm.
mother was good. And then at the end when he unwraps the chocolate bar finally, like her message on there was good. I
That
thought,
was the
you
golden
know,
ticket and everything too. That was a reference to.
it's a
That was
little
cool.
heartwarming,
Yeah,
cutesy little moment. I did not expect to see anyone milking a giraffe in this movie, but you do
yeah,
get
right.
some milking a giraffe. And
Yeah, I mean the story does get a little muddled if you try to, because like he has all of these people as friends. I'm guessing the older ones probably would have died, but he was really good friends with this girl. Like she doesn't exist.
yeah, 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 she doesn't make any. Yeah, I guess everyone else you could just say they passed on by now, but the little girl, you would think she would be involved in his life in some kind of way.
Yeah, but he's just kind
Maybe
of a
that's
miser.
maybe the sequel is going to be like the dark, gritty
Do you think
origin story
they're?
of like the current Wonka, like how we got there, like what made him so jaded, and the little girl dies.
Oh man, do
I
you
don't
think they're
know.
gonna make a second one?
I don't know. I don't know if they have any intention to really.
I mean, the way it ended, it seemed like he just starts his empire. That scene was really cool. How they brought the factory together, and it's like the factory from the original
I,
one. I like that.
that was the standout scene of the whole movie for me.
Yeah.
The way they built the factory around this castle and everything. The thing about like the place having, when they first get him the first spot, if I remember correctly, they're like, oh yeah, there's no like something fell through the ceiling and everything. And I
Right.
was thinking that was going to be a reference to the glass ceiling in the
Oh,
movie,
right.
but
The
like,
elevator.
isn't this the new spot? It becomes the one we see in the 1971 movie,
I think it was
but
just it
that's a
was
different
just
spot, right? So
yeah, that
maybe
was
he got
just
the idea from that initial. I
oh,
don't
it could
know.
have been. I mean, I think it was just them explaining why they could afford to rent it because it was so dilapidated and shit. It was just a
There's
storefront that he
something
could
about them
operate.
explaining the ceiling being broken through. I was thinking like, oh, so the glass ceiling, like something
Maybe it
about the
was
glass
just like
ceiling.
a little reference to the movie or something because they had him throughout that the movie.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I will say, like the first time they start him up his chocolate factory or whatever, like the first attempt at the chocolate factory, and then everything goes haywire so fast. Like it's just like the length of one song, everything is great, and then by the end of the song, everything's on fire.
Yeah.
Like it just they really rush through that. I mean, maybe not. It's not that big of a deal. Like it's not really a con or anything, but it was just like, man, we were all happy so recently. Like just
Hmm.
1 second ago, everything was perfectly fine, and then somebody's like, wait a second, what's going on with my hair? And then everything's on fire.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't let him make money and get out of his indentured servitude that easily.
It's funny that there's like a chocolate cartel, and
Hmm.
they all. I wish I could remember all of them, but they all have like very Harry Potter names. It's like Slugworth and Finkelbaum and Blang. I don't know. It's like a bunch of
Uh,
made up words.
something knows. Per,
Snub nose or
yeah, something like that.
something like that.
But it's
Yeah.
like, why are they hoarding this? They're watering down their chocolate just to save more chocolate, but they're not using it. They're just saving the chocolate up to drown Willy Wonka.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they hoard it all down below so they can one day use it as currency for something, but
Right.
that's not really hashed out or like fleshed out very much. Yeah, it doesn't really make. It's like how do you have this? I mean, I guess it's supposed to. I guess companies these days like Hershey's and stuff have
Yeah.
gobs of money, but it feels like they just have three chocolate shops and somehow they're just rolling in money and like swimming in swimming pools full of gold coins.
Scrooge McDuck in it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't exactly know how you got that wealthy from some chocolate bars, but whatever.
Right.